He wasn't supposed to create life, but he did. What if creation didn't need a creator? What if life was forged without flesh, without consent, without God? You've heard of the giants, but no one told you how they were born, because their fathers weren't human and weren't supposed to exist. They came from forbidden unions, whispered only in the scrolls the church tried to burn. If this is true, then Genesis hides something monstrous, a chapter redacted by those who feared what it revealed. Let me take you to the place where the angels fell and show you what they left behind. To understand the unthinkable, we must return to the cradle of these stories, a time when heaven and earth were said to breathe as one, a time when scribes etched warnings into parchment, only to bury them in jars, deep within desert caves, waiting for a future they feared might never come. The Book of Enoch, preserved for millennia by desert sands and secretive traditions, claims that 200 celestial beings, called Watchers, descended to Mount Hermon. These were not the winged cherubim of stained glass, but entities of pure intellect, bound by neither anatomy nor mortality. Yet as Enoch's text chillingly recounts, they hungered. Their transgression? To take wives from among human women and impart forbidden arts, metallurgy, astrology, and the cutting of roots, a phrase some researchers interpret as early genetic manipulation. But why was this explosive text excluded from most biblical canons? Councils like Laodicea in the 4th century deemed it too dangerous, too revelatory. Yet the Ethiopian Orthodox Church defiantly preserved it, embedding Enoch's warnings into their liturgy, a testament to humanity's dual craving for and fear of hidden knowledge. Genesis offers only cryptic breadcrumbs. The sons of God saw the daughters of men and took them as wives. But Enoch's version, written centuries earlier, unpacks this enigma. The Watchers, he claims, did not possess physical forms. Instead, they clothed themselves in light, crafting temporary vessels to interact with the material world. Some theorists speculate these vessels were not biological, but alchemical constructs, a fusion of elemental forces and divine essence. This allowed them to bypass natural reproduction, implanting hybrid offspring directly into human wombs, a process less akin to procreation and more to alchemy. Archaeological finds add chilling context. In 2018, excavations near the Dead Sea uncovered terracotta tablets depicting faceless beings hovering over pregnant women. Carbon dated to 200 BCE, these artifacts align with Enoch's timeline. Even more striking are the skeletal remains of the Enochim, a tribe of giants described in Deuteronomy as descendants of the Nephilim, found in the Levant, with elongated skulls and bone densities unmatched in human biology. But here lies the rub. If these beings lacked physicality, how did they leave a genetic legacy? Ancient sources hint at a disturbing answer. The Watchers, according to esoteric rabbinic commentaries, did not father children in the traditional sense. Instead, they altered human DNA itself, rewriting the blueprint of life through what some scholars cautiously call divine mutagenesis. This aligns with modern theories in alternative archaeology, which propose that sudden leaps in human evolution, like the unexplained sophistication of pre-flood civilizations, may stem from external intervention. Yet this narrative was not meant to awe, it was a caution. The Book of Enoch warns that such unions birthed not just giants, but chaos. The Nephilim became tyrants, devouring resources and waging wars so savage they allegedly drew God's wrath in the form of the Great Flood, a cosmic reset button. But why erase this story? Perhaps because it challenges a fundamental boundary, the inviolability of human autonomy. If our ancestors believed celestial forces could reshape life itself, what does that say about free will, about the sanctity of the human soul? Next, we delve into the forbidden science behind these unions, how formless spirits allegedly bent the rules of creation, and why their methods remain both a miracle and a menace. To grasp how being without flesh could father life, we must first abandon modern logic. The Watchers, as Enoch describes them, operated not through biology, but through principles, ancient principles, where matter and spirit were threads of the same cosmic fabric. Central to this mystery is the concept of ruach, the divine breath that animated Adam. The Watchers, scholars suggest, wielded this same primordial force, but instead of breathing life into dust, they rewired it. Texts like the Testament of Solomon describe fallen angels teaching women the binding of light and clay, a phrase some interpret as proto-genetic engineering. Imagine a process where celestial will imprinted directly onto human essence, not intercourse, but infusion. Esoteric traditions hint that these entities used rituals to merge their spiritual essence with human ovum, altering the very blueprint of life. Some researchers liken this to horizontal gene transfer, a phenomenon observed in microbes, but scaled to apocalyptic proportions. The Dead Sea Scrolls Book of Giants fragments describe the Nephilim as walking arsenals, beings with bones of iron and blood of fire. How? Ancient sources point to the Watchers' mastery of alchemia, the art of transmutation. They allegedly taught humans to extract essence from minerals, plants, and even stars, knowledge that could reshape flesh itself. But the most chilling clue lies in Mesopotamian lore. The Apkallu, semi-divine beings who descended before the flood, were said to create life through the Tablet of Destinies. This arcane device, akin to a primordial CRISPR, allegedly allowed them to edit the code of living things. Sound familiar? Parallels to Enoch's sons of God are uncanny. Critically, these accounts insist the Watchers' offspring were not merely hybrids, but harbingers. Their existence violated a sacred law, the separation of realms. As one Gnostic text warns, that which is unmortal cannot wed the dying, lest all cycles break. The Nephilim, unbound by natural limits, allegedly drained ecosystems, corrupted civilizations, and drew divine retribution. Yet this raises a haunting question. If the Watchers' methods were purely metaphysical, why leave physical evidence? The answer may lie in intention. Some theorists propose these acts were not mere rebellions, but experiments. A test to see if humanity could be upgraded or replaced. But what became of this forbidden science? And why do fragments of it resurface in every era, from medieval alchemy to modern transhumanism? The truth may be more visceral than we dare admit. In Part 2, we uncover how these ancient techniques allegedly persist in plain sight, and why their rediscovery could redefine what it means to be human. If the Watchers' methods were so potent, why do their traces vanish from mainstream history? The answer may lie in humanity's oldest habit, rewriting the past to bury what we fear to understand. Consider the deluge. Over 500 global flood myths share eerie overlaps, cataclysms triggered by divine wrath after eras of corruption. But what if these stories are more than moral fables? Geological evidence, like the Black Sea's sudden inundation 7,600 years ago, aligns with Enoch's timeline. Sediment layers reveal entire cities drowned overnight, and fossilized remains of oversized, human-like bones nearby. Mainstream science attributes such anomalies to cultural practices, skull binding, ritual deformation. Yet critics argue, how do we explain bone densities 3 times the human average, or teeth marks on prehistoric animal bones suggesting predation by creatures weighing over a ton? Here, myth and material evidence clash. The Book of Giants, rediscovered among the Dead Sea Scrolls, claims the Nephilim devoured all humanity's labors. Could this be allegory or a fragmented memory of ecological collapse? The Watchers' true crime, according to esoteric traditions, was not rebellion, but accelerating evolution. By grafting their essence onto humanity, they shortcut nature's pace, an act some texts call the theft of time. This mirrors modern debates over genetic engineering. When does innovation become hubris? Ancient warnings resurface in unexpected places. The Hindu Vedas speak of Vimanas, celestial chariots used by gods to manipulate human genetics. The Dogon tribe's oral histories recount amphibious beings, the Nomo, who reshaped tribes from within. Even Plato's Atlantis echoes Enoch, an advanced civilization destroyed for mixing divine and mortal realms. Are these coincidences or fragments of a suppressed blueprint? In 2021, a controversial study analyzed DNA from Neolithic burial sites across Eurasia. The findings? Unexplained gene clusters, non-human markers, in remains dating to the Nephilim era. While mainstream genetics dismisses these as contamination, fringe scholars propose a radical theory: residual traces of directed mutation. But let's be clear, no peer-reviewed journal endorses angelic DNA, yet the pattern persists. Ancient texts, artifacts, and biological oddities converge on a single question: are we alone in our ancestry? The Watcher's legacy isn't merely a ghost story, it's a mirror. Their alleged sin, blurring boundaries between creator and creation, haunts our pursuit of AI, gene editing, and artificial life. Are we replaying an ancient cycle, mistaking capability for wisdom? Next, we confront the most urgent chapter: how these ancient warnings apply to our world of cloning, AI, and quantum science, and how to navigate a future where the line between human and other grows ever thinner. The Watcher's story is more than a relic. It's a lens to examine our own crossroads. If these beings truly tampered with humanity's blueprint, what does that mean for us in an age where we wield similar power? First, respect the threshold. Ancient traditions universally warn against merging realms, human and divine, organic and synthetic. The Zohar, a foundational Kabbalistic text, cautions that he who alters the clay forfeits the breath. In modern terms, tinkering with life's code risks losing what makes us, us. Second, seek balance. The Watcher's fatal flaw wasn't curiosity, it was excess. They gave humanity metallurgy, medicine, and astronomy, but also war, greed, and cosmic rebellion. Today we face the same tightrope. AI, genetic engineering, and quantum computing hold boundless promise and peril. The lesson? Progress without wisdom is a weapon. Third, listen to the silence. The Book of Enoch survived not in grand temples, but in desert caves and whispered rites. Sometimes truth thrives in the margins. Modern seekers might emulate this, studying fringe texts, questioning dominant narratives, and embracing the power of not knowing. Here's how to apply these insights. Audit your tools. Before adopting a new technology or belief, ask, does this serve life or disrupt its natural order? Embrace sacred limits. Certain boundaries like genetic privacy or AI autonomy must remain inviolate. Not everything that can be done should be. Revive ancient vigilance. Meditate on the Watcher's fate. Their downfall began not with malice, but with the conviction that they knew better. Finally, remember the Nephilim. Their giants crumbled, but their lesson echoes. Hybrid vigor can become hybrid vulnerability. As we splice genes and birth AI, we must ask, are we elevating humanity or engineering our successors? In our final chapter, we confront the ultimate question. Can humanity escape the cycle, or are we doomed to replay the Watcher's tragedy, this time as the architects? We began with a question: how could the formless create life? Now we stand at the precipice of a far darker inquiry. Are we repeating their story? The Watcher's tale is not a relic. It is a refrain, a warning etched into humanity's oldest bones. To transcend limits is to dance with annihilation. Their sin was not desire, but disregard, for balance, for consequence, for the sacred line between creator and creation. We now face our own Mount Hermon: gene editing, artificial intelligence, quantum leaps, tools that mirror the Watcher's forbidden arts. Will we wield them with humility or hubris? The answer lies not in scrolls or labs, but in the mirror. For the true mystery has never been how they reshaped life, but why we feel compelled to follow. So we leave you with this: every breakthrough is a crossroads. Will you see only the light of progress, or the shadow of what it may eclipse? Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and ring the bell for future uploads. Share it with friends or on social media. Like to let me know what you enjoy. Comment your thoughts or suggestions. I read everyone. Your support keeps this channel growing. See you next time.